Hi everyone and welcome to the very first episode of Can I Do It Better with Ajax. So we've recently finished the save with Can I Do It Better with AC Milan, in which we tried to better the results of AC Milan in the 2018-19 season, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing here with Ajax, but a bit more specific than with the AC Milan series. The only trophy, the only competition, should I say, that I'm interested in terms of bettering the results for in this particular save is the Champions League. So this is Can I Do It Better with Ajax, the Champions League edition, sort of. And so we're sitting on the 25th of July, so we haven't finished the transfer window yet. You can see that the finances overall of Ajax are pretty good. There's a bit in the kitty, but the wage budget is really, really bad. And so attracting new players is proving really very, very difficult. And we've also got the issue that there's a lot of injuries going around the club. We've had to put 3 key players down into the sort of Ajax B side just because they're out for like 6 months. And I can't have them in the first team at the moment. So I'm just looking to put them down into the B side and try and find a way to make my squad page look half decent. And putting them into this particular page, this squad at this point, was really confusing me. So you can see we got Dolberg here, who's going to be really key for us, but even he's out for 2 months. We've got 3 players in the reserves now that are out for 6 to 8 months between them, and that's really hard. It's meant that we've had to look at a couple of youngsters, which we have done. We've put a couple of youngsters up into the first team squad at the moment until the transfer window is sort of done and dusted, and then maybe that will change, but there's no guarantees of that at all. Because of what the finances currently are. I'm looking to get a couple of players in on loan. I've already got one, but we still need to improve this squad really. But that's for a future episode. What I'll do is I'll just show you where we currently are in terms of game wise. Today we've got the first leg of our Champions League, Champions Cup as they call it here, best place qualification round 2, leg 1. It's very complicated, the qualification for it. But basically what we've got to do is go for about 3 qualifying rounds just to get into the group stages of the Champions League. And that's what we're going to be focusing on over the next few episodes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play 1 Champions League match in each episode of this save. So if you think that we've got 3 qualifying rounds to get through first, that's 6 matches. So that's going to be the next 6 matches just to get into the group stages. There'll be hopefully, if we get there, there'll be a further 6 matches in that in that group stage. So that will be the following 6 episodes. If we get out of the group stage, then we go into the knockout stages, and it will be those that will be the episodes for this particular save. We won't be playing any games from either the Dutch Cup or the Dutch League in this particular series. This is purely about Champions League football. So if we get all the way to the final, bearing in mind that what I want to do is better the results of Ajax in this competition, and they got to the semi-final, so it's going to be really hard looking at the current squad and the problems that there are in it to get to that point. But if we do, I think I'm right in thinking there's about 20-ish matches to play, somewhere around there. It's probably a game or so less than that, but it's about 20-ish, and that's how long the series is going to last. 1 game per episode for this particular series. So yes, so the first game is our, as I say, it's our Champions Cup best place qualifying round 2 league leg 1 against Sturm Graz. And so that's, a fairly tricky start, isn't it? If we go and have a look at our route through just to qualifying, so we've got Sturm Graz at the moment, we've got Slavia Prague in the next round should we get through, and then either one of these two, Poak or Basel versus Fenerbahce, will get through, and we'll have to play one of those in the playoff. So it's not an easy route into the group stages at all, especially when you've got such a disruptive squad. Now, I mean, even the players that I've got in my squad at the moment, there's a few knocks going around, is completely injury-raddled, which is just awful to deal with. Hopefully, it will sort of balance out a little bit just as the season moves on and we get through the transfer window. Hopefully, I can make a couple of loan signings. This is one of the guys that I've been. So, Bruno Varela, one of the goalkeepers, is probably going to be our reserve goalkeeper. He's already in the club. I didn't bring him in. That was already done from Benfica. So, he's a backup goalkeeper. So, that's fine. The guy that I bought in is probably somebody that most people know. And you'll have to forgive me for pronunciations or enunciations of players' names. I'm probably going to be shocking at it. But Sergio Reguilon, something like that. He's in from Real Madrid on loan for this particular season. We're paying him $7,000 a week, which isn't bad. And as a sort of backup left back, really, I think he's pretty good. He will battle quite strongly with Tagliafico, I think that's how you pronounce him. And he's going to be our first choice left back at the beginning of the season, and then the two of them will battle for it as the season progresses. So that's the only player that I've bought in so far. I've had to drop several people out of the team, out of the squad, should I say, just because their injuries mean they're not going to be available till like February. So I can't plan for them at the moment. In January, we'll revisit it. When we get to that point, I'll see where they are injury-wise and what the squad is currently doing and how we're performing. And at that point, that's when I will reevaluate. But until then, I can't have them in the squad, so they're off the squad page, so I'm not confused by them. Dolberg comes back fairly soon in comparison to that. Unfortunately, Huntelaar has just picked up a knock in friendlies, and so he's got a few fitness issues, but we are going to have to play him today because at the moment he's really the only choice that we've got. We've got several youngsters, as I say, brought down into this particular sort of first team squad from sort of youth teams. Can't get my words out. I'm so befuddled by this save already. It's really confusing me as to how I'm going to move this forward and actually get the results I need because they're so injury riddled. Anyway, so Van de Beek, obviously most people know at 21, but we've brought in Ekkelenkamp. Brought him up from the youth squad just because he's as good as we've got in the youth squad, and I need the players in just per sort of player numbers at this point. We've also got Gravenberch. Most people know about Gravenberch and know that he produces some amazing quality further into the saves as you go through the first couple of seasons. He becomes really amazingly good. But at the age of 16, you can see that for one season that we've got him, he's not going to set the world alight. But again, at the moment, he's as good as we've got because we haven't been able to bring anybody in from outside the club, so that's why he's in. Nicholas Kuhn is another 18-year-old that I've bought up, a wide player, has got a couple of good attributes here and there, but not many. His flair is one of those key things, and his agility, so I'm hoping that if necessary he can do something for us, but again he's only going to be a backup player. And so yeah, it's a really, really difficult squad with some very good quality in it here and there. Obviously, you've got Frankie de Jong, who's obviously got his move happening to Barcelona at the end of this season in terms of our game and how it works. So he moves in the end of the season, so we don't have to worry about that. We've got him for this season, so he's going to be key for us. Ajax also bought in, before I showed up, Dusan Tadic, obviously from the Premier League where he was playing before. And so he's going to be key for us. You can see he's got some very good attributes, and is going to be one of our key creative influences. So he's fabulous. Ziyech, he's going to be on our right hand side. Some very good sort of flair and first touch, free kick taking is useful at. So he's got some positive stats out there, some attributes, should I say. Even someone like David Neres, don't know. He's going to play backup for a bit of us for most of this season, I would imagine. But he's useful to have, and that's mostly what I can say about this squad. They're useful to have, although we do have some big gaps. Christensen is a really good right back, so he's going to be positive for us. So yeah, anyway, I can't go through the entire side at this point. We'll hopefully highlight a few players as we go through some of the games, but it's a mixed bag. I'm not happy with where it's at the moment in terms of the health of the players and the balance of the squad. That's a work in progress, but we don't have any choice. Today we've got a game that we have to play, and it's in the Champions League, so we're going to play it. We're going to do our best and see how we get on against Sturm Graz. So the team that I've had to pick today is Onana in goal, who will be our first choice goalkeeper, Christensen at right back, Tagliafico at left back, Magellan and De Ligt in the centre of defence, Daley Blind playing as the ball-winning midfield player, De Jong as the attacking playmaker, Yabyad as the attacking midfielder, Ziyech on the right, Tadic on the left, and Huntelaar up top, with a bench of Schurz, Mazrui, Regulon, Schoen, Cerny, Neres, and Ekkelenkamp. Some real names that I'm going to struggle to get used to. If you were with me for my AC Milan save, it took me about 4 or 5 episodes to be able to to pronounce Romagnoli properly. So goodness knows only what's going to happen in this one. Anyway, stop rambling, Kev. Let's get on with it. Let's get into today's game. Fingers crossed, everybody, and see what happens. So at this point, I've got no idea how to approach this particular team yet and what their expectation of me and mine is of them, really. So at this point, I've just said to them that we're favourites here, so go out there and give the fans a performance to cheer for, and that's as good as I can do. People are listening, but it hasn't motivated much, and I wouldn't expect it to, really, in the early days of my managerial role here at Ajax. So let's get into the game. So we start at home, which is a positive that we're going to have to make the most of, I would suggest. That camera is a little bit distant. Let's change that up a little bit. Bring that down. Zoom that in. And that's better. That's how I like to watch my games. So yes, let's get into this match and see how we get on. So what I'm hoping for is that we'll keep control of the ball reasonably well. We're playing in a tiki-taka style, so it's going to be quite possession orientated, waiting patiently for the opportunities, occasionally counter-attacking and using some pace here and there. But yeah, let's hope that we get a good performance. And that was a decent shot by Yabyad from the edge of the penalty box, but it just went slightly wide of the post and didn't really challenge the goalkeeper. Tagliafico's already picked up a yellow card, which is a bit of a concern as the game rolls on and we go into the second leg also. But so far, I think we're doing what I would expect us to do, which is at home, control the possession, control the pace of the game, and let's see if we can carve out a decent opportunity. So Christensen on the right-hand side into Ziyech, De Jong onto Yabyad, again on the edge of the box, back to De Jong, and where's he going to go? Back to Blind. See, controlled, tiki-taka football, which is what we're trying to play. Just keep the possession, bring them out, and then find those killer balls and see if we can occasionally use a bit of pace here and there. So we've worked it right the way from right to left and back into the centre. We've kept control of the ball. Tadic on the left-hand side of the box into Huntelaar, and there's a first goal. Header from Huntelaar. I'm not quite sure what the goalkeeper was doing. Seemed to almost dive out the way of the ball, I thought. But I will take it. Really nice play in terms of the slow build-up, the controlled possession, the tiki-taka style, keeping the ball, working an opportunity. And as I say, I don't really know what the goalkeeper was doing, but he didn't have much of a choice. The point-blank header, it could have gone either way. He chose wrongly, and Huntelaar gets the first goal of the save. And we go one up in the first leg, which is really positive. As I say, we've got to make the most out of this home match. Here Sturm Graz come down the left-hand side, but a brilliant interception by Magellan onto De Jong, brings it forward again onto Labyad. I was going to struggle with some of these names for a while. Tagliafico onto the far post with Ziyech, and he puts it slightly over the top, and a decent opportunity, but the header quality wasn't quite there. Yabyad with the Labyad. Oh, he took a free kick anyway. Oh dear me. I'm not going to win any prizes for this commentary, am I really? It's really quite difficult, I've found, in my little sort of first few months of Football Manager. The commentary of matches is a lot harder than some make it look. So if you're any good at it and you're putting out content on Football Manager and looking great, then my hat goes off to you, because I find it quite difficult here and there. Here we go again, though, for Sturm Graz down the left-hand side. But again, a loose ball, and Christensen picks it out. Long ball across left to Tadic, who eventually controls it. Left-footed cross, half cleared, and Labyad on the half volley puts it left-footed high and wide, really. Never really challenged the goal or the goalkeeper on that occasion. But here we go in the statistics for the match. Look at this, 16 shots and 6 on target. They've had no shots and no shots on target. We're controlling the possession just about, but they're yet to really threaten us. And so I will happily take this. But I think this is a good thing to do in the half-time. My assistant manager says, have a gentle word with the squad about the perils of complacency at this stage. Keep them focused. I'm going to let him do that. Now, apparently our goalkeeper looks stressed by that, but I don't really know why, because he could have done anything so far, because nobody's had even a shot at him. So I'm not quite sure why he looks stressed by that, but never mind. Here we go into the second half, and Sturm Graz get the opportunity to kick off, and the highlight dies at that point, and we wait for the next one. Hopefully we can maintain control of the game. Ziyech with the free kick. Oh, it's brushed the top of the crossbar, I think, but never quite challenged the goalkeeper. And it looks like we're getting lots of decent sighters at goal, but nobody's really putting the ball where they need to just at the moment. It was a slightly defensive free kick where we just kicked it backwards to keep control of the ball and used a tiki-taka patient style. And here we come again. So right side into the centre with De Jong now. He cuts across left to Tagliafico, back in again. Tadic getting involved in the play, back to De Jong. Labyad has come short to come and get it. Ziyech with the left-footed shot, and that was a bit better, wasn't it? At least it challenged the goalkeeper to have to do something, and eventually we get a corner. Tadic with the corner kick. Corner comes in, and the goalkeeper claims it very nicely, doesn't he, really? There was very little impact on the goal there from us. And then that corner kick routine, we're going to have to change that up a little bit, I think. I can't be just having aimless balls put straight on top of the goalkeeper. That's not how I want it, and I haven't quite set that properly yet. Anyway, back into the teams, the squad page. Let's see where people are at in terms of, look, Frankie de Jong's got a problem with his conditioning, so has Christensen, and we've got a couple of people that can replace those on the bench, so we are going to protect them a little bit because we've got a lot of football left to play at this point. So Schoen is going to come on for de Jong, and Christensen's going to come off, and Mazraoui is going to come on and replace him at right back. And we've got one more. I would love to bring Huntelaar off, but we've got no other options at all, really. I mean, Ekkelenkamp is an attacking midfielder. He's got some decent finishing stats, so we could play him up there. But I don't think I will. I think I will take my left defender off my left back because of his yellow card. And again, I don't want him picking up anything. And it brings on Regulon as well, which is a good thing for him to be able to make his debut at this stage. So those are the 3 changes I'm going to make. Maybe not as attacking, as impactful as I would have liked them to be. But at this point, as I say, I'm really struggling to get to grips with this squad at the moment. So it's as good as I could do, I think. And hopefully that will see us through to the end of this particular game with a 1-0 win from the home match, which maybe isn't quite as many as I'd like, considering how dominant we've been in terms of attacking threat to them compared to from them to us. But it's a win, and we've got to take it and hope that the second game in this 2-legged affair sort of follows the similar pattern, really, that they can't quite cope with our ability to keep the ball, and we can do that and nullify the game and go through. That's the hope. But you see, we're still nicely passing the ball around, taking our time, building up the play. Can we have one shot at goal before the whistle? No, we can't. There was the whistle. We played out the match, didn't we, really? They had nothing to offer. Look at that. No shots on goal, no shots on target, nothing from them at all. 35% possession from them. They were really, really poor. Let's hope that we get a similar performance out of them in the second leg as well. Contrary to that, I think we played okay, but it's the shots on target were not quite good enough, were they, really? I don't feel we challenged the keeper enough. Anyway, we'll go in and try and build up the confidence and just calmly say, well done, that was a good win for us. Get everybody's motivation up, get them all happy for playing for us, and then we'll just move on into the next game and take it one by one and see if we can get through to this group stage at least. And then who knows what condition our squad will be in by that point. Hopefully very different than it is today. So, yeah, that's all I've got for you really today. It's a bizarre episode because I can't tell you, I've been sitting here for the last couple of hours trying to figure out this squad and move a few people around, try and make a few signings, and it's really confused me so far. But hopefully, by the time we've got through this double header and then into the next qualifying round, hopefully there'll be some movement in the transfer market a little bit. A few others players will come out on loan options and other things, and we can try and find a few additions to the squad that can really help us. The only other thing I'll tell you about is that nothing's happened at this point, but there is a little suggestive rumour out there that there is a consortium looking at Ajax to try and build them and pump some money into them. If that comes about, then we might have a really fun couple of weeks in the transfer window if it's done in time. I suspect, though, even if it happens, it will probably happen the day after the transfer window closes, so I can't do anything with it. But it's something to look out for, so I'll let you know how that goes as soon as I know. But come back for a next episode and we'll play the second game against Sturm Graz and see if we can get through this particular qualifying round of the Champions League as we continue to try and do it better than Ajax did in the Champions League of 2018-19. We've got a long way to go and it's going to be really hard. But we've got to give it a go. So thanks for joining me today. If you enjoy my series on my channel, then why not subscribe to the channel, and that will keep you up to date with the videos. If you enjoyed this episode, why not chuck a like on it for me? That helps me get seen by others. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, let me know how you're getting on in your save in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.